Hi Math 54. This is the video for lesson 115. It is located in your textbook on page 533 and is scheduled for Thursday, April 16th. This lesson deals with, it calls it renaming fractions. That sounds a little complicated, but I promise you it is not. I'll explain to you what renaming looks like as we go through the lesson, okay? So renaming fractions basically is like finding something we've done before. We've done equivalent fractions before. If we remember, equivalent means equal. When we think equivalent fractions, we think equal fractions. So we've done equivalent fractions before. So the way you can rename them, a fraction, renaming a fraction is to find an equivalent fraction. So let's look at what that would look like as a problem. You would get a problem that tells you to find the equivalent fraction. For example, this one, okay? So your problem could say find the equivalent fraction, or it could say rename the fraction 5/6 with a denominator of 12. Either way means the same thing, okay? So we're going to use the equivalent wording for right now. So when I have the 5/6 fraction, and I know that my denominator has to become 12, remember we multiply it by a fraction equal to 1, because any number multiplied by 1 equals that number. So that would make it equal. And equivalent means equal. So we look at, what would I multiply 6 by to get 12? And I know that I have to multiply it by 2. So if I multiply my denominator by 2, I have to multiply my numerator by 2. Okay? And when I multiply my numerator times 2, 5 times 2 gives me 10. So my answer would be 10 twelfths. 10 twelfths is an equivalent fraction to 5/6. We have renamed 5/6 into 10 twelfths. It's just different wording for the same process. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Here, we're given the fraction 2/3, and we're told to rename it or rewrite it with the denominator of 6. So in the same way as we did before, I have to figure out what do I multiply 3 by to get to 6? And I know that 3 times 2 equals 6. So if I do that to the bottom, I have to do that to the top to make this equal to 1. 2 over 2 is equal to 1. So 2 times 2 equals 4. So my equivalent fraction for 2/3 is 4/6. Okay, so I'm just multiplying this fraction by a fraction equal to 1, because 2 over 2 equals 1, and coming up with an equal fraction, because any number times 1 equals that same number. Okay? On number 3, I have 1/3 equals some fraction with a denominator of 18. So to find the equivalent fraction, I have to figure out what am I going to multiply 3 by to get 18? And I know that 3 times 6 equals 18. And what I do to the bottom, I need to do to the top. So I'll have 6 over 6 to equal 1. So 1 times 6 equals 6. So that is equal to 6/18. So 6/18 is an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Okay? For this lesson, your practice problems are on page 534. and there will be a video coming for lesson 116. Bye.